Dear students of Honors Second Year, hope that you are doing fine at home. This is Shaila Parveen, Assistant Professor of Department of English. Welcome you back to my class on Riders to the Sea Part 4. In my previous 3 lectures on Riders to the Sea, I have discussed different aspects of this play, and today I am going to discuss different themes of Riders to the Sea. So let us start our today's discussion. Riders to the Sea depicts the story of a community's fragile existence depends on the young men's ability to make a living from the sea, the very force of nature that often takes their lives. Because of this, Riders to the Sea is centrally concerned with the past deaths and the threat of death in future. Moria and her family struggle to retain a hold on the lives of the young men that they still have, though they seem to understand that death at the hands of the sea is inevitable. The characters are willing to try anything to mitigate their hardship, though they ultimately find themselves powerless before forces that they cannot control. Though the play is a small play of one act, the play deals with various themes. At first glance, it seems that the prevailing theme of this play is the helplessness of man on the hands of nature. But a closer look proves that the play also has some more dominant themes such as man's helpless yielding to fate, strange religious beliefs and superstitions, etc. Sea as a mighty force. The power of the sea is the central theme of the play. The sea is at the same time their destroyer and their preserver. It is a preserver in the sense that the villagers get their living from the sea. On the other hand, they know that they have to surrender their lives at any time to the cruel sea. The sea has taken almost all of Moria's male family members and is poised to take the rest of them as well. The sea defies rationality. For Nora and Kathleen, the sea only matters in terms of losing family members. For Moria, it is the great enemy who devours all the male members of her family. But for Bartley, it is dangerous, but is a way of life. The potency of the sea in this play is Singh's meditation on the power of nature and of suffering. Another very important theme that the play deals with is the islanders' belief in the religion, Catholicism, at the same time paganism. It is seen that the inhabitants of the Aran Island believe in Catholicism. There are references of priests, God's blessing, holy water, etc. However, traditional Catholicism rests somewhat uneasily side by side with more pagan religious elements. Moria doesn't heed the priest's empty, naive platitudes so much as she looks to the stars and other natural phenomena for warning and signs. She doesn't believe in priest's word all the time. She still has serious doubts when the young priest assures her that God will listen to her fervent prayers and keep Bertie safe on his ocean voyage. Casting doubt on the power of her prayers and the priest's authority, she says, "It's little the like of him knows of the sea." Moria believes in the power of the sea much more than she believes in God. It is only at the end of the text, when her battle with the sea is over, that she can peacefully submerge herself back into the rituals and rites of her Catholic faith. Actually, the inhabitants who are represented by these characters rely on a blend of Catholicism and pagan beliefs native to the Aran Islands in order to grapple with the relentless hardship of their lives. The blend of paganism and Catholicism, as well as the characters' spiritual doubt of feelings of powerlessness, are shown to be a product of the tremendous fragility of lives lived on a dangerous ocean. Another very important theme that the play deals with is its conflict between tradition and modernity. Moria represents tradition, her children and the young priest, on the other hand, represent modernity. Moria knows everything about the island and its particulars. Her religion is more paganistic than Catholic. She doesn't embrace new ideas of comforting Catholicism. She only knows her small life within her cottage. Moria's children, in contrast, deride her senseless behavior and rigid adherence of her beliefs. They look beyond the island to the wider world. The tensions between the two worlds most impact Bartley, who understands the sea is dangerous, but he has to go to the sea because he is a man and must secure a livelihood for his family. At the end of the play, it is clear that modernity will ultimately dominate, but it is also clear that Moria's worldview is still important and has much to teach the younger generation. Another strongest theme in Riders to the Sea is the conflict between religion, superstition, and nature. On the surface, Moria and her family are devout Catholics. She wants to have her sons a proper Catholic funeral. Throughout the play, the characters pray to God and ask for blessings. Everyone views the young Catholic priest as a prominent community leader. Under that religious surface, however, it becomes clear that Moria and perhaps the community at large no longer trust in God's control. After first glance, the family's religious comments such as God help us, He blessing of God on you, or God spare us seem mechanical rather than reverential, suggesting these have lost their meanings as prayer. Instead of putting their faith in God for protection, which has failed Moria's family so many times, the women have come to rely on superstition. For example, Nora suggests that her mother might have given Bertley bad luck by not blessing him before his journey out to sea. Again, some peasants believe that the dead can control the lives of the living, or to assuage its loneliness, a ghost can cause the death of a loved one. They also believe that the dead minds other people wearing their clothes or using their possessions. Bartley, then who wears Michael's shirt, is believed to be selected for death on these counts. Now fate as another theme of this play. Everyone in the community, especially Moria, is powerless to stop death, so succumbs to fate. Moria has tried everything to keep death from claiming her family members. Moria prays, crosses herself, casts blessings and pleads with holy men, but the sea claims all the male members of her family. Despite her best efforts, Moria seems to know she cannot stop fate, which is why she buys the coffin boards and she puts up little fights to stop her last living son from going to sea. When Bartley dies, Moria feels a sense of relief that finally her men are all together this time, and notes, no man at all can be living forever, and we must be satisfied. She views early death as the fate of all young men, a fate she is powerless to stop. Another important theme of this play is the community bonding. Riders to the Sea tells the heartbreaking story of the destruction of one family, but the play shows us the downfall of an entire community and its way of life. The traditional fishing community can survive only with young men to do the hard labor, including fishing and trading on the sea. Without them, the entire community struggles. Moria's family is poor, and the struggle will intensify without Bartley. Before he leaves, Moria notes, "It's hard said, we will be surely the day you are drowned with the rest." Although her daughters are healthy, their community does not treat young women as being as capable as the young men. She laments that without a young man, the family will suffer and look for the grave. When Bartley's body washes ashore, there are only men, old men, and women to lament for him. Probably all the strong-bodied men have died, taking the fishing community's tradition and future into the sea with them. Yet the community must remain strong. The neighbors rally around Moria to help complete the burial traditions, and an elderly neighbor agrees to build Bartley's coffin. In this way, Singh suggests the community will go on to support and strengthen each other to the bitter end and end there as powerless against as Moria is powerless to fight the deadly sea. Well, dear students, that is the end of my discussion on Riders to the Sea. Hope to meet you again with another new topic from your second year syllabus. Thank you very much for listening.